Konnichiwa, welcome back. In this video, we will study new Japanese grammar from the Minna no Nihongo Lesson 4. I will be using words from the vocabulary list, so I highly recommend that you check it out first if you haven't seen it yet. それでは始めましょう. So here are the grammar points that we would learn in this lesson. The first one is how to express time. 今、何々時、何々分、分です。Ji is the suffix added that means o'clock, and fun or pun is the suffix added that means minute. For example, it's 8:15 now. First, let's say 8 o'clock. 8時. 15 is 15 or 15分です。8時15分です. To be more specific, you say 今 or now 今8時15分です. Next is how to ask the time. What time is it or what time is it now? First, we say the word now. 今. 何時. What time is 何時? Nan means what, and ji is the suffix for time, so 何時. 今何時ですか? Or simply 何時ですか? You can also say what minute or how many minutes by saying 何分. 何分ですか? How many minutes? You can also ask the specific time in a specific place. For example, what time is it in New York? New York is ニューヨーク followed by the particle wa, or for place, if the topic is a place, we use the particle de. ニューヨークで. But for now, we can just use ニューヨークは何時ですか? What time is it in New York? For example, the answer is it's 8 o'clock. 8時です. Now, in this lesson, you will be introduced to verbs plus mas, or the mas form of the verb. The mas form of the verb is also the polite form of the verb. In the previous lesson, we've learned the pattern N1 wa, N2 des. And the N2 des is the predicate of the sentence. But in this lesson, we will learn that you can also say N1 wa, verb plus mas as a predicate. Mas makes the sentence more polite, just like the word des. This also means that the verb is in its present or future tense. It also expresses a habitual thing or action. In Japanese, there are two different ways of speaking. The polite way, an example is adding des or action word plus mas. The other way is plain form. Here are some examples of Japanese verbs. Wake up, okimasu. The plain form of this verb is okiru. You will learn the plain form in lesson 18. But for now, just focus on the verb plus mas form. Another example is sleep, nemasu. The dictionary is neru. Study, benkyou shimasu. Or the plain form is benkyou suru. Work, hatarakimasu. The plain form is hataraku. For example, I study every day. Watashi wa. Every day is 毎日. Study is 勉強します. So 勉強 plus mas is 勉強します. Next is en, which could be a time or date, followed by ni. This is a particle that is attached to indicate the time of the action. And then verb. En ni, verb, or action at time. For example, I sleep at 10. Watashi wa, followed by the time, 10時, 10 o'clock or 10. 10時に at 10. 寝ます sleep. 私は10時に寝ます。Next example. I'll work on April 1st. So this time, the example is using a date. So first, let's say, 私は April 1st is 4月1日に On April 1st, I'll work. 働きます。私は4月1日に働きます。You could also say day. For example, 月曜日 or Monday. I'll work on Monday. 私は月曜日に働きます。Now to ask question, what time do you sleep? Or what time do you do a certain action? あなたは You. What time is 何時？あなたは何時に寝ますか？あなたは何時に寝ますか？ So the particle ni is added if there's a numeral. For example, 10時に4月1日に However, for days like 月曜日 or Monday, it is not necessary. You can just say, 私は月曜日働きます。Next is the verb plus mas form, which means an affirmative or a positive statement. Again, it expresses a habitual action, or it also talks about the present or future tense. And the opposite of this is the verb plus masen. So verb mas means to do an action, and verb masen means don't do or don't do an action. For example, I wake up at 6 every day. 私は every day is 毎日。6 o'clock is 6時。6時に wake up is 起きます。私は毎日6時に起きます。I wake up at 6 every day. Or you can just say, I wake up at 6 if it's an habitual action. You can also use this if you're talking about a future action. For example, I'll wake up at 6 tomorrow. 私は tomorrow is 明日。6時に起きます。I'll wake up at 6 tomorrow. 私は明日6時に起きます。Now, let's go to the negative form of the verb, which is don't verb or verb plus masen. For example, I don't wake up at 6 every day. First, 私は毎日6時に起きません。So the positive is 起きます。Now, since it's a negative, 起きません。私は毎日6時に起きません。Another example, if you are not going to do a certain thing in the future, I won't wake up at 6 tomorrow. 私は明日6時に起きません。私は明日6時に起きません。You'll probably wake up at 7. 明日7時に起きます。Here are other examples of verbs in its mas and masen form. 寝ます、寝ません。寝ます means to sleep. 寝ません is the opposite. 休み or 休みます means to take a break. 休みます、休みません。働きます means to work or work. 働きます、働きません。Now, let's go to the past form of the verb. The first is verb mashita. So, meaning did a verb, did an action. And the negative past form of the verb is verb masen deshita. Didn't do an action, didn't do verb. So first, let's focus on verb mashita. I woke up at 6 this morning. This morning is kesa. Kesa 6時に so 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock 起きました。今朝6時に起きました。Another example, I didn't study yesterday. Yesterday is 昨日。勉強しませんでした。昨日勉強しませんでした。So notice that you don't have to say 私は all the time if it's already obvious. Here are other examples. 寝ました。寝ませんでした。休みました。休みませんでした。働きました。働きませんでした。How to ask questions with verbs. As usual, it's very simple. Just add ka at the end of the sentence to make it into a question. So verb mas ka means do you verb or do you do a certain action? And to ask the past form of this is verb mashita ka? Did you do a certain action? Okay, first let's do the verb mas ka pattern. Do you study every day? So this is a question of a habitual action. Every day. Do you study every day? 毎日勉強しますか? 毎日勉強しますか? So, to say yes or yes, I do, you cannot use so this or じゃありません or the short version of yes, that's right. But you have to repeat the verb. For example, yes, I do. はい、勉強します。If not, no, I don't. いいえ、勉強しません。Another example, did you take a day off? So this time we are using the verb mashita ka pattern. First, the word yesterday. 昨日 take a day off. 休みました。So this is the past form. So 休みましたか？昨日休みましたか？ Yes, I did. はい、休みました。No, I didn't. いいえ、休みませんでした。Okay, the next pattern is N1, which is a time or a place, から N2 まで. Or it means from N1 to N2. から means from or the starting point, and まで means the ending point or until. I work from 8 to 4, or I work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. 私は8 o'clock is 8時から so from 8 o'clock to 4 4時4時まで to 4 o'clock. Work is 働きます。私は8時から4時まで働きます。You can also use this for days. For example, I work from Monday to Friday. Monday is 月曜日。月曜日から Friday is 金曜日。金曜日まで働きます。月曜日から金曜日まで働きます。So notice I didn't put 私は if it's obvious in the sentence. Next example is with the place. It takes 4 hours from Manila to Tokyo. N1 is Manila. Manila から。Manila から東京まで。From Manila to Tokyo. 4時間 4 hours かかります So we haven't learned this yet. This pattern will appear in lesson 11. But the important thing here is using place in N1 から N2 まで pattern. マニラから東京まで Next. から N まで are not always used together. For example, I work from 9. 私は 9 o'clock is 9時。9時から働きます。Another example, to Shinjuku Station please. So if you're going to ride a taxi and you want to say, please take me to this place or to this place please, you say, in this example, Shinjuku Station, 新宿駅までお願いします。To Shinjuku Station please. Next example, I'm from Osaka or I came from Osaka. So you know this pattern from lesson 1. 大阪から来ました。来ました means came is the past form of come. 大阪から来ました。I'm from Osaka. 何々から or 何々まで or the combination of から and まで can be used as a predicate in the sentence by adding des at the end. For example, the bank is from or is open from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Bank is 銀行。銀行は9時から3時までです。銀行は9時から3時までです。The bank is from 9 to 3. Another example, lunch break or lunchtime is until 1:30. Lunch break is 昼休み。昼休みは1時30分。So 1時1 o'clock, 30 30分までです。昼休みは1時30分までです。From what time until what time is the lunch break? 昼休みは what time? 何時から what time? 何時までですか？昼休みは何時から何時までですか？ Next is the particle と or meaning and. So this is used to connect two nouns. N1 と N2 or N1 and N2. For example, I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays is 土曜日 or Saturday. 土曜日と Sunday is 日曜日。土曜日と日曜日働きません。Don't work is 働きません。Another example is banks are closed on Saturdays and Sunday. 銀行は土曜日と日曜日休みです。休み is break or holidays. And lastly, the particle ね at the end of a sentence, which means something something, right? So this is used to confirm something. For example, it's a holiday tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is 明日。明日休みです。It's a holiday tomorrow. If you wanna confirm it or say, right? 明日休みですね。It's a holiday tomorrow, right? You can answer this by saying, そうです。That's right. This also shows that the speaker wants the listener to agree. For example, it's hot, isn't it? Or it's cold, isn't it? This is a very common phrase that you would hear among Japanese just to open up a conversation. 暑いですね。暑いですね。It's hot, isn't it? Or 寒いですね。It's cold, right? You can say そうですね to show that you agree. Ne is also added to some phrases or words to show sympathy. For example, that must be tough, or isn't it amazing? So first, that must be tough. 大変ですね. So if you are going through a hard time, the listener might show his sympathy by saying 大変ですね. On the opposite of that is, isn't it amazing? If they think that something is really great. すごいですね. すごい means great. すごいですね. You can simply reply by saying そうですね or ですね, which is a shorter version of そうですね, or even simple than that is ね, right? So let's review the grammar points that we've learned today. First is how to express time. 今、何々時、何々分です. Next is the polite or the mass form of a verb. Verb, mas. The next one is how to say that a certain action happens at a certain time. And ni, verb. We've also learned the positive or negative present past tense of a verb. Verb mas, verb masen, verb mashita, verb masen deshita. Next is how to say from N1 to N2. N1 から N2 まで. Next is how to connect two nouns using the particle to. N1 to N2. And lastly, how to confirm or ask the listener to agree with the speaker by adding the particle ne at the end of the sentence. Now it's time for speaking practice. So I will be asking you some questions based from the lesson and try if you can respond in Japanese. こんにちは。そちらで今何時ですか？毎日何時に起きますか？昨日の夜何時に寝ましたか？何時から何時まで寝ますか？勉強しますか？働けますか？休みは何曜日ですか？ So that's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions or clarifications, please comment down below. And please subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the future lessons. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Mata ne!